Hello there, this is the Shadow Ranger, and this is After Immortal, the wrap-up. Um, for the most part, at Bound for Glory, the Immortal storyline ended the way I thought it would. The group still exists in a way, but the main part is over. Hogan's back heel, Immortal no longer has power, Dixie Carter is back in control of the company, and all has been set right with the world. So, with that being said, I have no reason to continue this series. Unless somehow they have Immortal get back into power and we want to do something else, I don't think it's going to happen. But what I'm going to do is just give some thoughts on this series overall and where I go from here as far as anything involving writing stuff myself and fantasy booking and things of that nature. I started this series earlier this year. In fact, the first episode was I uploaded on January 11th. After Immortal number 1, we talked about a potential feud between Generation Me and the Hardy Boys. Of course, as we know now, that can't happen because 3 of the men involved are now gone. Generation Me left TNA a couple months ago, and Matt Hardy has since been fired. But it was something I thought a lot of people would have gotten into just because of all the comparisons made between the two groups. It's a feud that I would have liked to have seen. I think a lot of other people would have been interested in. I think it would have been a good way to really get Generation Me over. But with everything that happened between Matt and Jeff, their legal issues, that just wasn't going to be able to happen. Episode 2 was about Bully Ray, and it also included me ranting about the misuse of Orlando Jordan. I talked about how they should talk about the fact that he's bisexual and do something with his storyline-wise. And I didn't like that they never did it. But I still think that the Bully Ray character has a lot of potential, and that there's a lot more they can do with him in the future as far as being the bully and bullying people, and I hope they do more with him. I think what TNA succeeded at doing is splitting up Team 3D and making one of them a star. He's done very well since they split up. Most people thought that it would be stupid with Team 3D split up. Most people didn't want to give it even half a chance, and Bully Ray's proven a lot of people wrong who said he couldn't be successful on his own. He's done very well. That was January 17th that I uploaded that video. Take you through the timeline a little bit. Episode 3 was about Kurt Angle. That was Olympic gold, X Division gold, which is something I really enjoyed. Talking about the X Division title. I think Kurt Angle as X Division champion is something that a lot of people will get into. I still, he's the one who said he wanted to work with more of the X Division guys. I still think, have him take some time off. I would say, maybe he has a rematch with James Storm, but afterwards, I would take Kurt Angle off TV for a long time. Let him heal up. Let him pursue that Olympic thing. If he wants to really legitimately is going to try to go for the Olympics, that's cool too. But a couple months from now, bring him back. Healed up, fresh, rejuvenated Kurt Angle, talking about he wants a new challenge. He wants to achieve something new. And, this is something that can still happen. That's the point. This is a storyline that can still happen down the line. I mean, Kurt Angle feuding with Austin Aries would give you some really great stuff. I think those would be some fantastic matches. I think a lot of people would really get into them. That was January 22nd that I uploaded that video. Episode 4 was a restructuring of the title scene, just restructuring who would be going for the belts, so there wasn't really a storyline in there. But, let's look at how it looks now as compared to what I came up with. Now, this episode was April 13th that I uploaded this episode. Now, I labeled as my guys going for the world title to be AJ Styles, Ken Anderson, Samoa Joe, Matt Morgan, Abyss, The Pope, and RVD. Also, Hernandez sort of in the middle. Of course, over the time, Pope's kind of fallen down. I still consider Matt Morgan, Samoa Joe, Anderson, AJ to all be credible world title contenders. Of course, we've seen the rise of Robert Roode and the current champion James Storm, who, Roode and Storm I still had sort of labeled as just being a tag team, but they've done very well for themselves. But, Beer Money's not broken up, so they can still tag some too. Looking at the TV title, I had Hernandez, because I feel he could go for either belt. I had Gunner, Crimson, Bully Ray, Eric Young, Orlando Jordan, and Desmond Wolfe. Desmond Wolfe and Orlando Jordan are no longer with the company. Eric Young has been the champion for several months and hasn't really done anything with it. I think Bully Ray, Crimson, and Gunner could do more with it. Crimson could do very well to see if he's ready to move in toward the main event. So could Bully Ray. I think he would be a fantastic heel champion. With the world title on a face, the TV title will probably do some good on a heel. Bully Ray should probably be that guy. I'm in the middle going for either TV or X Division title. I put Doug Williams, Jay Lethal, Matt Hardy, Kazarian, and Robbie E. Jay Lethal and Matt Hardy are no longer in the company. Jay Lethal is actually the Ring of Honor television champion now. Doug Williams went more back to tagging with Magnus now. Matt Hardy is no longer in the company. But Kazarian and Robbie E going for the TV title still works very well. Who I had going for the television title, I listed Amazing Red, Brian Kendrick, Suicide, Shannon Moore, Chris Sabin, and Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley has been wrestling in the X Division more, but that's mainly because Chris Sabin has been out with an injury. We still got a couple more months before Sabin comes back. Shannon Moore's doing tag team with Inc. now. Haven't seen much of Suicide. They finally removed him from the roster page, I believe. Yeah, I'm looking at the roster page now. They finally removed him from the roster page. So, they still have that gimmick if they ever want to break it out for a match or two. But, you're not doing much with it now. Actually, I think Suicide, just one time, Suicide versus Austin Aries could be pretty fun. Brian Kendrick is a former X Division champion since then. And Amazing Red is no longer with the company. I also listed Kurt Angle and Christopher Daniels as two guys who could wrestle for any singles title and be credible champions. So, there you go. As far as tag teams, I had Beer Money, Machine Guns, Generation Me, the Hardy Boys, Crimson and Amazing Red, British Invasion, and or London Brawl, and the Mexican American Inc. So, James Storm and Robert Roode haven't tagged a whole lot recently. They both moved into singles and are both in the world title picture. James Storm is the world champion, so I can see a Beer Money split coming soon. Machine Guns have been out because of Sabin's injury. Generation Me is no longer with the company. Matt Hardy is gone, so no more Hardy Boys. Amazing Red is gone, so Crimson and Amazing Red, that's over. British Invasion is still here, but Desmond Wolfe is gone, so no London Brawling. Mexican America are the current tag team champions, and Inc. is pretty much their only contender. So you really got Mexican America, Inc., British Invasion, at least till the Machine Guns come back. So, tag team scene in TNA isn't looking very good right now, so I hope either some new teams get together. They got some guys that aren't doing much that could be doing some teams. Ever since they did this new X Division guys, a lot of them hadn't had a whole lot of time on TV. I think Jesse Sorensen, instead of feuding with Kid Cash, him and Anthony Nese, who has a good look, they just haven't done a whole lot with them. That's a possibility of them being a tag team. I think that could work. Brian Kendrick and Mark Haskins has a similar looks. They could do some stuff together. You got options. Kid Cash and Bully Ray. Scott Steiner's not doing anything right now. If he's gonna hang around, you got options. So you might have to make a few makeshift teams to get some stuff going. But that video was April 13th, so that's about all I want to say about that one. Episode 5, Servant Queen, Cowgirl, Amazon. That was a fun one because I really like that ISIS girl. I think she, with her unique look, is something that should be on TV. I know she's not the best in the ring, but I still say with a look like that, she don't really need a whole lot of wrestling ability. Plant her in the middle of the ring, let people bounce off her. I still think she should get a shot in TNA. She would be a great bodyguard for Karen Jarrett. This smack around Velvet Sky. Whenever Velvet Sky is finally about to get her hands on Karen Jarrett, Isis shows up to fend her off. But that was an alright. That was a fun little thing they had to do. They did sort of a, they finished up the Madison Rain Terra stuff, which was good too. So all that worked out pretty well. That was April 16th. Episode 6, Guys and Dolls. That one's pretty much happening. I mean, let's be straight up. I think I called this one pretty well. It's pretty much happening. There's only one person missing. The only person in there is Buggy. But you got Mexican America. They got Sarita and Rosita. They got Ink. They got Christina Von Eerie. The only person missing is Buggy. Bring in Buggy. Let this thing go. Get those tag title belts off of Terra and Testmarker and back on the Sarita and Rosita. Eventually do that double title match, double title intergender tag match I suggested. I think you could do some fun stuff with that. So now let me be clear. I am in no way suggesting that somebody from TNA saw my video and took my idea and did it. I'm not suggesting it anyway. I'm just saying this one's happening, and I'm glad that it's happening. That's cool. Guys and Dolls, that was April 18th. Let's see here. Episode 7, Everyone's Gunning for Gunner. This one was more of just potential challenges for Gunner when he was television champion, but since he's not television champion anymore, it's not much happening. I still say I hate seeing that title wasted on Eric Young. I like EY, but why have the belt on him if he's not going to do anything with it? I'd personally rather see Austin Aries beat Eric Young for that title, have a champion versus champion match, and have Austin Aries be a double champion, than you have run him against James Storm for a pay-per-view. That's what I'd like to see. But so as far as Everyone's Gunning for Gunner, that was April 26th, and you can pretty much disregard it. But you could take all the people I came up with ideas for Gunner and just take whoever the current champion is, which is Eric Young, and put it on somebody else, and you still got plenty of challenges for that belt though. Episode 8 was the Resurrection of the Antichrist. We're talking about Jeff Hardy returning as a heel and feuding with AJ Styles. Like I said, I wanted him to be a total heel, shit on the fans, totally deny responsibility for his actions, and use it to kick off a feud with AJ Styles. But right now, AJ's doing feuds with Daniels, and they decided to bring Jeff Hardy back as a babyface. And I don't have a problem with babyface Hardy doing the whole redemption angle. That's cool. But I personally and that's probably better. That I can't say that that my idea would be a better business move. I'm just saying that, like I said before in the disclaimer, I want to talk about what I personally enjoy. I personally would have liked to see the Antichrist of professional wrestling come back, and maybe that will happen down the line. But after Immortal Episode 8, Resurrection of the Antichrist, that was May 20th. Oh, I ain't ready to go to work in a few minutes. Raw has already started. Let's see what left over here. Episode 9 was KJ Enterprises, talking about Karen Jarrett as a manager. And she's kind of doing, she's like an authority figure now. But, it's kind of a plot hole. Because why, if Dixie Carter's back in charge, why would she allow Karen Jarrett to still be in charge of the Knockouts division? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, I think Sting needs to fire Karen, and Karen becomes a manager. They just do the whole thing with I have a manager's license and you can't fire me. You can, as long as someone wants me to be their manager, I can be here because I have a manager's license. Blah 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 blah, and do that. But KJ Enterprises, that was May 29th. Let's see here. Episode 10 was A Fresh Cup of Joe. That one was actually a request video. I believe it was Mr. Killer Relic requested that one about doing something new with Joe. Not a whole lot's happening with Joe, and the Usos having been released from WWE, so that pretty much puts the kibosh on this idea. But I hope to see something new from Joe in the future. That was May 29th. Episode 11 was restructuring the Knockouts, just talking about who's going for the singles title, who's going for the tag team titles. I talked about, just potential. Tara and Miss Tessmacher are now the tag team champions. I actually would have thought about having Tessmacher not wrestle anymore, but she's actually gotten pretty good. Christina Von Eerie was someone that I said should be added to the roster, which she has been added. I don't think anybody's left yet. But, much like the tag team division with the men, they got to get some more teams together. But they got more teams. You got ODB and Jackie can be a team. You got Tara and Tessmacher together as a team. You got Winter and Angelina can be a team. You got Sarita and Rosita, of course, as a team. So you got options to work with those tag belts. So I think the Knockouts are doing okay. I actually want to try to come up with a Knockout storyline. One long storyline that involves all the Knockouts. I think it just to be a big challenge, and I think I can make this happen. So it's something I'm going to challenge myself to do and see how well I can do it. But sorry about that. I was clicking through a video on YouTube and a video started playing. But that was Restructured Knockouts. That was June 5th. Episode 12, Pope's New Congregation, Pope Devon, the Soul Touchers from Chikara. That's just something I personally would enjoy seeing. I don't think that's going to actually happen in any way, but, I'm looking forward to see what happens next with Pope and Devon, and I hope they stop all that stuff with Devon's sons. Nobody cares about them. But that was Pope's New Congregation, June 7th. I still think the idea of them having a group that's kind of like a Southern black gospel choir type gimmick thing could work, because it's something that hasn't really been done much. Let's see here. After that was episode 13, Karen's Girls. Again, I'm not saying anybody from TNA watching my video or anything, but Karen's Girls, kind of the same thing, but different people. Karen has her girls. She has Madison Rayne and Gail Kim. Only instead of attacking Mickie James, she's going after Velvet Sky. And what happened? She sent Madison down to the ring to confront Velvet Sky, and boom, somebody hits Velvet Sky from the back. It was Gail Kim. I'm, again, not saying that is the way I say it. I'm just saying maybe me and somebody in TNA are on the same wavelength here. Maybe me and Bruce Pritchard got to think alike. But yeah, I still think you got to transition Karen out of that VP position just to cover that plot hole and just transition her to being just a manager. You can add another girl or two to her group if you want to, have her manage a stable of women. You still got ODB and Jackie that aren't really doing anything. She could say, hey, you guys owe me because I'm the one who gave you your contracts here. You got options, though. I mean, you look at the roster. Who else you got here? She already has Gail Kim. She has Madison. I don't think anybody should heel turn, but you got options. Karen's Girls. That was August 1st. And to wrap up the last episode, episode 14 was Blood is Thicker, talking about Rosita, which was a continuation of Karen Girls. But you know what? You can still do that one. Do it with Gail Kim, Madison Rayne, and Sarita. Have Sarita turn on her and on Rosita, sort of take those two together and split them from Mexican America. Do the thing with Sarita turns on Rosita. You turn Rosita face, you make Sarita the heel, she joins up with Karen, and you have Karen's group being Madison, Rosita, and Gail Kim. You still do the storyline. I think it would really get Rosita over. And that was September 7th. I actually had some other ideas for groups, but I decided to maybe do them as part of a new series later on. Because I still like doing the fantasy booking stuff, and I still want to do more fantasy booking type videos. I just got to come up with a name for what I'm going to do, like a name for the series. Because I don't just want, I want to keep it together as a series so I can make a really, nice playlist. Actually, I just thought about a name. How about Impacting Impact? That's pretty good. I might come with something else later, though. But anyway, overall thoughts on doing the After Immortal series. I enjoyed doing it. I like being able to express my creativity and expressing ideas and my own thoughts. At least delude myself into thinking that maybe I could actually have a career as part of a wrestling writer or a wrestling booker or something like that. But, I'm almost at 20 minutes. The series was fun. If you like hearing me fantasy book stuff, and you like me to continue doing any type of fantasy booking, anything you want to see me come up with an idea for, tell you, always open to suggestions. If you ever just say, what do you think of something for this guy, or I want to see this guy run with this belt, or this guy go heel, or this guy goes face, or these people form a faction, or whatever. I'm always open to any type of fantasy booking challenge. The next one I'm giving myself, I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm going to try to come up with one storyline that involves the entire Knockouts division. Make it all happen, where all the knockouts are being used on a very regular basis, and I think I can make this work. It's going to be very challenging. But I got to involve the belts, authority figures, managers. This is going to be tough, but I really want to challenge myself to see if I can make this happen. So yeah, that's where I'll wrap it up. This has been the conclusion to After Immortal, wrapping everything up. I'll say one more time, this was a fun series. I enjoyed doing it, and I hope I get to do something similar to it in the future. Please leave me your feedback on the After Immortal series as a whole, what you thought of my ideas, what you think I could improve on. But that being said, this is the Shadow Ranger. Thank you for listening. If you like my videos, please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at TJSMITH3. Have a nice day.